Diamondbacks pitcher Zac Gallen leads the NL Cy Young in voting right now, and Diamondbacks rookie left fielder Corbin Carroll leads the voting in NL Rookie of the Year. Evan, what's going right for these two guys, and what's going right for the D-backs right now? They're at the
So,
top of the AL. They're at the top of the AL West of the NL West. I apologize. Um, so what's going right for that? What's going right for that team right now?
so scouting, scouting, scouting. That's what I say. And especially if you're a small market team like the D-backs and another team who does this really well is the Rays, they build up their farm system and they scout, scout, scout. They know these guys
And the Atlanta
because
Braves.
it's possible you see a guy who yes, the Atlanta Braves pulled off the
Yes.
perfection of the rebuild, and now they're in the buying stage where they can buy who they want. They were the blueprint back like 5-10 years ago. But anyways, my point with the D-backs is that they know how to scout because they don't buy everyone. They can't be the Yankees or the Rangers and just buy whoever they want, and that can work. So you have to find your other lane. And their other lane has been scouting. Corbin Carroll, first round pick in 2019. Great pick. They got him in the middle of the first round. He is looking like one of the best players in that draft. My White Sox did not pick him. They picked Andrew Vaughn, who I still have high hopes for, but it looks like Corbin Carroll's on a better track right now. And then of course you got Zac Gallen, who was on the Marlins, Jake's team for a little bit, but he's bounced all over. He was a draft pick by the Cardinals. They get him when he's young. They trade for him. So when you're a small market team, you really got to hit on these moves. And another point to this is Mike Hazen, their general manager. He's been general manager since 2017. Well, what happened in 2017 for the Diamondbacks? They went to the playoffs. They made it to the division series. They lost. They got swept by the Dodgers. But what he realized is this is a good team. You got Paul Goldschmidt, you got all these guys. But this is not. I respect these guys, but they're not going to sustain it. In a lot of teams, they'll get to the playoffs. They think, oh, that's great. We got a playoff team, but they don't sustain it. They don't buy the White Sox, and then eventually the team falls apart. So the D-backs did fall apart, but while that was happening, Mike Hazen was assembling Corbin Carroll, Zac Gallen, and a bunch of other guys, Marte, and that's why they did lose so many games in 2021, but now they are good. So really, it's just small market genius at play. That's what I gotta say to that.
Yeah. Real quick on the 2019 draft, I think the top 10 picks in that draft will go down as one of the top 10 best drafts in the NBA, in MLB history. Obviously, my team picked one pick after Evan's team, the Chicago White Sox. My team picked J.J. Bleday, who is now in Oakland, about to be the Las Vegas A's, but we'll save that topic. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think what's going right for those two guys, I think, exactly as we say, I think Zac Gallen and Corbin Carroll is going right for those guys. I think it's going right for the D-backs right now. And I think that, adding Kakel Marte, Jake McCarthy, and all these guys, Morel Kelly on the pitching side, he's also been an ace for the Diamondbacks this year. I think that, they led the Diamondbacks to where they are right now, being ahead of the Dodgers and Padres, which usually the Dodgers and Padres are at the top. Um, Zach Allen's
I love that the
10.
Padres suck. That makes me so happy. Their fans got so in your face about everything. That is great.
Yeah,
I'm glad the D-backs replaced them as the hopeful team. Well,
yeah. Corbin Carroll, I think, has a right to be at the top of the NL Rookie of the Year voting. Um, he's batting 292 with 17 homers, and he got outrageous speed. He's got 24 stolen bases already this year with the OPS at 932. On the Zach Allen, he's thrown 104 innings. Um, he's 10-2, only allowed 7 home runs. That's outrageous. 108 strikeouts in that 104 innings. Now talking about Morel Kelly, he's only pitched 95 innings, but he struck out 98 and has a 95 record. So I think those two guys don't like for the givebacks right now. Jordan, what do you think is going right?
Um, a lot of things are going right for the Diamondbacks. Like
Oh
Evan
yeah,
said, you have to have scouting and homegrown talent, right? He Evan mentioned the Braves were the poster child of doing this. I feel like homegrown talent, you I feel like it's better than acquiring talent in free agency, and I don't know how many people agree with that, but that's the way I feel. In terms of having, I don't know how far you can go with seemingly having, the Cy Young favorite and Rookie of the Year favorite. Baseball is a team game. We all know that. So we'll see what happens with the Diamondbacks, but they look very intriguing to me as we approach the All-Star break.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of get into these races a little bit more. The annual Rookie of the Year, we're gonna get into that race a little more. You got to talk about Ellie De La Cruz. You got to talk about, you know, you got to talk about Yoli Perez. You got to talk about sorry, you got to talk about the Cardinals star. You got to talk about Jordan Walker. You got to talk about all these guys for Rookie of the Year. I'm missing a couple people. Um, but yeah, they're all having a great seasons. And Yuri Perez, um, he's going up against the Braves this Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, you got to talk about all these guys. Evan, what do you think?
So this one to me is a two-man race and maybe a 2.5. And I will put Ellie De La Cruz. My problem with him, he's a stud, of course. He's 6'5".
Oh yeah,
He
he's
can hit
electric.
like that. He has a great OPS. My thing with them is he hasn't played enough games, and he's gonna have trouble keeping up with Corbin Carroll, who is arguably playing an MVP like season right now. I know there's some others ahead of him. He's arguably playing an MVP worthy season. Ellie De La Cruz only has played 19 games. So, of course, he's doing good, but he's trailing him a little in that regard. He's really going to have to show out if he's going to be in the discussion for Rookie of the Year. The other
Yes.
player I'm looking at, and this is going to make Jake smile, is Yuri Perez, because you've got 9 starts so far, nine games. I'm not sure if they're all starts, right, Jake? Or
They're all stars. He's
okay,
a
they're all
starting
start.
pitcher.
He has like a
Yes.
1.5 ERA. That is super impressive.
I
And
believe
I'm
it's
looking
1.35 as of right now.
even better. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking, for all my bettors out there, he was at 3,300 plus 3,000. That is good odds. I would take that. But anyways, Yuri Perez is very in this with Corbin Carroll. Yes, Corbin Carroll's haven't got MVP like season. I would say he is the favorite. If I were to pick someone who's likely going to win it, it probably will be Corbin Carroll. But if Yuri Perez keeps this up, I would not sleep on him. This is going to be a close race right to the finish. Not a one-man race. So I have a 2.5, half with De La Cruz, but definitely 2 with Perez and Corbin Carroll.
Jordan, what do you think about the annual Rookie of the Year race?
I think Corbin Carroll is the front runner, and I honestly don't really think it's close right now because, as Evan mentioned, Ellie De La Cruz is a stud, but he hasn't played enough games. Um, watching him, but I will say, watching Ellie De La Cruz against the Braves was something special this past weekend.
Oh yeah, he's special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here for the cycle.
First red in 32 years, I believe, to do that.
Crazy.
That was ridiculous. What do you think about Yoli Perez, Jordan?
I'm excited to watch him on Saturday. I've heard a lot of great things. I don't believe that the last time the Braves played the Marlins that he was on the roster. I am
Yeah.
excited to watch this.
And now, maybe, a player that's not talked about much that should have been. Evan, what's your thought? I know we interviewed his coach earlier this year. Evan, what's your thoughts on Jordan Walker? You think he's somewhere up there?
Yeah, I really like Jordan Walker, and his coach was a great guest, by the way. Go check out that video, guys. Um, he's not going to win it, of course, but I think he's had a good season. And I'm excited to see what comes more of him, especially with the Cardinals. They need more optimism. So yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
add,
definitely.
can I add one more thing on Yuri Perez real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I It'll be very fun to watch him on Saturday against probably the best lineup in baseball, right?
Yeah.
Put that 1.35 ERA to the test.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, Now let's talk about the NL Cy Young race. Zac Gallen's obviously the favorite, but you got throwing some other guys. You got throwing. think I think you can mention Marcus Stroman in that. I think you can mention, Clayton Kershaw in that. I think you can mention all these guys in that. Maybe Nathan Eovaldi. Well, AL Cy Young, but Yeah, I think that you can mention Spencer Strider, Morel Kelly, Garrett Cole. I think these are all big names. But I think in the end, Zac Gallen's gonna win it. Evan, what do you think?
So this is not clear to me who the favorite is, and I think there's five names off the bat. I'm sure you can even think of more that you could consider. I will let Jordan talk about the Braves guys, but obviously Strider with the strikeouts has been great. He needs to lower that ERA a little more to be in
Yeah,
contention. But he has been great, especially if he hits 300 strikeouts. That's something to consider. But I'll let Jordan touch up on that. The other ones I wanted to mention were obviously you got in there Clayton Kershaw, and I actually think Clayton Kershaw is the favorite. I would say a slight favorite. I think they want to give it to him. He's the old guy. He's the veteran. He's been an MVP. He's been a three-time Cy Young. Now he's in his 30s. Of course, they want to give him another Cy Young because they could say he's still great later in his career, but he's going to have to earn it. And Zac Gallen, Clayton Kershaw is like a 2.5 ERA. I think Jordan has the stats. And Zac Gallen's like 2.6, something like that. So they're neck and neck.
3.02.
Zac Gallen's 3.02.
3.02 for Gallen.
Did it tick up or?
Yeah, a little bit after his last start, yes.
Okay, so it ticked up a little bit, but anyways, Clayton Kershaw can have a rust start then too. So it's gonna go back and forth. So those are the guys I'm really watching. I don't think that race is for sure. And one more thing, I did want to say, yes, you got to give Marcus Stroman credit. He came out of nowhere, and the Cubs is having a very good season. So I think there's at least five names right off the bat I could think of. But I'm gonna say Clayton Kershaw is a slight favorite, not by much. But anyways, I will go to you, Jordan. What do you think? Yeah.
First, can I say that I am pretty disappointed that neither of you guys mentioned Bryce Elder in this conversation.
I was waiting for you on that one, but yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
know you
we were waiting for you, man. We
Yeah.
were waiting for you.
I know you were, but I mean, come on, the dude leads the National League in ERA right now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to blow you away with 95, 96 like most like most of these guys can throw, but he's still been pretty effective this year. And he deserves to be mentioned in this conversation as the best pitcher in the National League. And
Yeah.
it's even more impressive knowing that I don't know. I don't think this correlates that much, but knowing how much he's meant to the Braves' success without their two best pitchers, right? Max Fried and Kyle Wright. So he's definitely got to be in consideration with that he's helping keep the ship afloat.